Campbell.
Present.
Jerry Carey.
Jerry couldn't make it.
Okay. Rosemary Broderick.
Present.
John Pocius.
Present.
Tony Grisanti.
Present.
Harry Lindsay. No,
He was
Harry.
supposed to be on. I don't know what happened.
Okay. Chet Verley.
Present.
Tim O'Brien. Okay. All right. Agenda. We do need to add election of officers to the agenda. Okay. And
We have to motion then approve it.
okay, we need to, I call for a motion to add election of officers to the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it, Rose.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any nays? All, okay, motion passes. And Mary Liz, when do we do the election of officers?
Under other business.
Other business, okay.
Okay.
All right, the minutes of the December 14th, 2023 meeting have been distributed by email to the board. We did need to make some changes to the minutes. We needed to change Carol Scrimmali to the to doing the calling meeting to order, and we also need to include Diana Campbell on the list of roll call. I call for a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll make a motion that we amend the minutes with those two changes.
Okay,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any noes? The motion passes. Bills.
Now we
Okay.
have to approve the minutes, Carol.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, approve the
Oh, I'm
minutes.
sorry. You're right. Sorry about that.
All those
Okay.
years on city council, like I have these out there, it's still me like what we have, you know?
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, I call for a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll make the motion.
Second, Chet.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any noes? The motion passes. Okay, bills, Mary Liz?
Okay, yeah, we just have 5 bills. 2 were for legal ads in the Scranton Times for the MPO meeting and for the RFP for the Norlac Planning Group. Business cards, plotter ink cartridges, and vision planning. Again, that's the hazard mitigation consultant. Still working on the plan. We'll probably see vision planning invoices for the next 2 years.
Okay.
Yep.
All righty. I call for a motion to approve the bills.
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
I'll second
All in
that.
favor, say aye.
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 Any noes? The motion passes. Now we move to communications.
Okay, as you can see, it was a pretty light month. We didn't have any support letters or any correspondence. The only communications was the Act 67 and Chapter 102 forms that we fill out for DEP.
Very good. Okay, we move to old business.
Okay, again, it was a pretty light month. I guess it was holiday mode. Under transportation planning, we did receive our third quarter invoice from PennDOT, $60,335.11, and then just over 5,100 of that goes to Colts. Under system planning, myself and Eric met virtually on January 4th with our representative from Federal Highways to review our requirements for the Safe Streets for All grant, the quarterly reporting. So we had to submit our first quarterly report. So we needed a tutorial to see how we make sure we were doing it right. Eric is working on the RFP for that grant as well. We hope to have it out by the end of the month. He's actually done the first draft. We have to go through it and make sure we have everything in there that we need. All of us basically attended the MPO meeting, which was just on Tuesday at the airport. And we did approve the 2024-25 UPW plan, and that's our transportation work program for the next year. And then myself and Eric, and actually Jess was there too. I apologize. I I kept you off there, and so was Brenda. We had a tip update meeting right after that with PennDOT and Federal Highways, and that's our transportation improvement program that we're working on for the next 2 years.
Mary Liz, can I ask you a question? Not trying to sound, I mean, you guys know these acronyms. An SS4A grant, what is that?
Safe Streets for All. It's one of the new programs under
Okay.
the infrastructure, the bipartisan law.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, under Scranton to New York passenger rail, Brenda actually attended a rail rally down at Kalahari, information session on the next steps that we were accepted into the corridor program, so it's looking promising.
That's great.
Yeah. Hazard mitigation, just that Vision is still working on the historic and cultural resources. They plan to have that done next month, so they'll probably have a steering committee shortly thereafter on that section of the plan.
Mary Liz, question on that. Do all the municipalities have to adopt it again?
Yes.
And that gets to be, who's the one that always drags it to the very, very, very end? Is it Old Forge or somebody
Well,
does?
Old Forge, no, last time we didn't have a problem with anybody last time, but Old Forge did not meet. It was mandatory to attend X number of meetings and to fill out the questionnaires, which they didn't do. So they adopted it, but FEMA wouldn't accept it.
Okay,
Wouldn't accept it. So they had to go back and do all their homework and pay, because we had to pay the consultant extra to do that over again. And so they had to pay for their lack of not, doing what they were supposed to do originally.
okay, thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that gets to be testy at times.
Yeah, and we do have, everybody has agreed to participate and to adopt again, so hopefully that, hopefully we won't have any issues
Thank you. Thank you.
again. Okay, the big one,
Yes,
Zappa. We are done.
Finally.
We
All right.
finally have Dunmore on board, yay. So anyhow, we're working right now with the consultant. We're getting all the ordinances finalized. We're getting that master list finalized. We have a meeting, follow up with the consultant next week on that. They're getting us all the files. We're gonna have the Word documents, the Excels, the GIS. So we'll be able to take control of it. And hopefully this will be successful.
Wow. Long time coming.
Yeah, for sure. Thank God. Now the comprehensive plan has to be done. So at least
Yeah.
but at least we're there.
Yeah, the
Very good.
intergovernmental agreement is good for 2.5 years. It was supposed to be 5 years, but it was retroactive back to June 30th of 21. So we have 2.5 years left on that intergovernmental agreement. So at that point, then we will go back and hopefully update the plan and start the process over again.
Good. Okay.
Mary Liz, when does this actually go into effect where the municipalities would have to hold projects to the new guidelines?
December 20th, as soon as Dunmore passed that,
Okay.
it went into effect. Yep.
So the plan should be reviewed under the new ordinance, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So we've had a few subdivisions that have come in since then that we were notifying the developers or the surveyors that you got to go under the new ordinance.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, and then Norlac, which is just starting, they had their kickoff meeting December 14th at City Hall in Carbondale. They adopted their bylaws, they elected officers, they reviewed the RFP. We actually created a logo for them. It looks pretty cool. I'll show it to you the next month. I'll bring it along. The RFP is out. It went out on the 20th of December. It closes on the 26th. Hopefully we'll get some good consultants. And then they've set the fourth Wednesday of every month as their meeting date. So we'll be back on February 28th to hopefully be doing interviews with whatever consultants we get. And the North Pocono plan, I've gotten all the resolutions back committing to the project for the 8 communities that wanted to join. And the end of this month, I will be putting the grant application together, and we probably won't hear back from DCED until probably June on that grant. So that is
Were you happy with EPD? Did they do a good job?
We were, and I'm hoping they put in for the Northern Lackawanna one.
There's kind of continuity. They would already have a foot on the ground and knowing what to expect and everything.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
And that's it for old business.
Thank you, Mary Liz. On to new
Thank you.
business.
Okay, Jess.
All right, Paul, did you want to go first to talk about your plan?
Yeah, I'll go first.
It's page 15.
Page 15, right? Do you have that, Jess? Yeah.
Are you able to see the image, or is the image blank?
Blank.
Like,
Like,
Okay, bear with me just one moment.
My computer went just back to the screen for Zoom, like to get into the program.
yeah, she's trying to get it.
I
Yeah.
just stopped sharing my screen, but I'm about to start again.
You're gonna start it. Do we have to launch the meeting again, or will you take it care from your end?
I'll take care of it from my end.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. All right, how about that?
No,
Not yet.
No? How about now?
Something's starting.
Oh, there we go. Yep.
good.
Beautiful.
There you go.
Thank you.
Okay.
Welcome.
Okay. So I'll start. So yeah, page 15. This is the City of Scranton spec building. Let me get a control of the mouse here real quick so you guys can see. I'm gonna request control, Jess. Okay. All right. So I have control of the mouse now. So the developer is proposing a 16,000 square foot shell of a building right in this location. Let's see, 12,000 square feet will be proposed office space and 4,000 will be proposed retail space. My only concern, if you go to the comments, my major concern would be parking. They're going to use this existing access going, by the Turkey Hill, up by the Riverfront Sports, and they're going to use this existing entryway to get into the building. But there are 20 spaces in back that they're actually going to use. They're going to use this back alleyway that isn't owned by them, and the actual connection to the building doesn't connect to the rear parking. So the only access is this alleyway, which doesn't really, I don't think is efficient. And
Who owns that space?
what's that? I believe it's a church. I believe this is a church here, and then I believe this is lands of this church over here. Or not a church, but
I think that's a car wash. And
Car
I
wash?
believe the church is that Ye Old Good Things, which is just to the
junk,
right.
it's a junk lot.
Right,
Mhm.
right. I think that's the church. I honestly believe that's the church.
I think you're right.
You're right.
Okay.
That's the
Yeah,
way
so-
in and out of the, what is that sports thing called there?
Riverfront.
Riverfront.
Riverfront, yeah.
Riverfront, yeah.
That alley is what everybody uses to get back there.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think it was an alley, because there is another alley that perpendiculars to it going north. Store Street.
Oh, right. Yeah,
I-
yeah. Source
Just
Street.
a-
Yeah.
Just, Tim, I couldn't talk or be seen before, but I figured it out. So you said, what are they going to do with this property?
They're just gonna go put a shell of a building. It's a building shell. They didn't disclose what's going to be in it. They just said that it's going to be portioned out to 12,000 square feet of office space and 4,000 retail space.
And this is the city of Scranton doing this?
Yeah, it's this the land is owned by the city of Scranton, but the owner is city of Scranton, but the developer is BRT Ice LP.
Oh,
BRT Ice.
Yeah, they were they used to own the mall there, right near there. You can see on the right. The Geisinger bought, I think, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they were very successful at what they.
Yeah. So they don't have any they just I received the breakdown from the parking calculations in order to calculate that, but they didn't really tell you
How
what
do
they
we
wanted to.
help if it's a nice
Vacant.
piece of property vacant and that that they'll do a very good job of development like they always have? Is how do we help them with an alternative here? Or is that not our job?
That's up to the city. Yeah, we just gave comments and they have to take them and
Okay.
work with them. Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't
All right.
isn't that property, that business, isn't that the Turkey Hill?
It is.
Right
It is.
there, yeah.
My other comment was that they didn't really show this Turkey Hill, even though the building is kind of proportioned, or I guess it's kind of rides the property line. So in the plans, they didn't include the Turkey Hill building. They kind of just zoned in on this vacant piece here.
Well, I have a comment in general on all these land development plans. They have to be, besides being sealed by the engineer for all the engineering work, the plan has to be sealed by a professional land surveyor
Right.
with the boundary shown. And none of these, I didn't see that comment. Only on one did it show up on these land developments. I mean, even though, if they have to certify to the boundary, and under the land development plan. And there's a signature block on the city sheet for the surveyor on the first sheet of the, has to be signed. So that should be a comment. Any land development has to be sealed by a surveyor besides the engineer.
Okay.
Designate to certify to the boundary that's being affected. Tony, you agree with that, Bud?
Yes,
Absolutely, right?
yes.
John, I think that's true even of subdivisions, not only land development.
Subdivision is
That's true.
definitely a surveyor. Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, subdivisions are, but a lot of people get confused. Like somebody else might have did the boundary survey and the topos, and some engineer will take it and start working on it.
Right.
But you still have to get the surveyor to certify to the boundary.
Right. And that's always been a little bit of a delay because a lot of surveyors don't want to fix their seal until final approval.
Yeah, well, if they did the boundary, Chet, they got to own up right off the bat,
Okay. Understood.
Yeah. It seems like more and more plans are coming in lately with no seals.
You know what? We just went to a meeting up at PennDOT the other day, and Arashi Northeast Penn chapter had a meeting with Mr. Rich Roman and all his staff up there, and the person that's handling the permitting and right of way and everything, they're requiring now sealed drawings even on the preliminary submissions for right of way plans, which is basically a subdivision. So you can see how important it is, that for the ownership. Because we have, and this, there's certain engineers that it's a struggle to get them to get a surveyor. They use a surveyor for the boundary, but to get that sheet in the plans is like, it takes like strong arming, and that usually has to be followed up by the local planning commission.
Right.
That's my speech for today. Because I get annoyed when they don't do it, This shouldn't be a problem because Don Julian is a registered surveyor and they do good work, and he should be able to seal the boundary.
So Paul, what else do you have to say?
Just they didn't include a landscape plan or a lighting plan as well for being a land development. They didn't add those two plans. That's all I have for this one.
Thank you.
Well, you have a pretty good comment there on the floodplain. This is all floodplain down there,
Yes. Yes.
They're a half a foot. Looks like they're a half a foot short.
That's what it looks like.
Yep. That's critical, you know? Good catch, Paul.
Thank you.
Before we go any further, I just need to, while I'm thinking about it, I need to abstain from page 13, lands of Bartholomew, and page 23, lands of Mikovitz, because they're Labella projects.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, when they come up,
John
yeah,
too.
me too.
Yeah,
I saw
I don't know
that.
if they were coming up for review, so I figured I better say.
When the motions are made, if we vote yes, we're abstaining from anything to do with Lavella, right, Sin?
Correct.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So Jess, I guess you're up.
Awesome. So the first one that I'd like to speak about is Grasselli SSI. Can you see this image now?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome. This starts on page 19. This is in South Abington, and it's the proposed construction of a 28,000 square foot commercial manufacturing building. Excuse me. The comments proceed on page number 2. This is our first review that came through on the Sacco ordinance. So a lot of my comments kind of hinge on that. Item number 3. So the plan was done to the specifications of the old ordinance, not the new one. As we know, we just adopted the Sacco ordinances. So item number 3 references changes in the ordinance. The previous ordinance has this area as an industrial zone where both light and heavy industrial uses are allowed. Now this is a light manufacturing use, basically, is permitted in this area. So I'm asking if the use is still allowed here because they didn't really give me any information. Item number 4 is simply that there was no landscape shown. Specifically, I'm concerned about the areas here and here because this is residential. Additionally, there was no exterior lighting plan. So those are my comments on that one. Does anyone have any questions?
Just again, this needs a surveyor seal too.
And to be honest, John, I'm not sure. I didn't make a comment about it and I can't recall. So
Okay,
if
well,
it
good, yes.
doesn't,
It may be on there. It may have been on there, but double check on the land
don't
development
recall.
to make sure the surveyor seals are. Otherwise, we need to make that comment.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us. All right, then if there's no comments or questions, we'll move along to the next one, and bear with me a few moments while I pull it up. We're back at Valley View Business Park. This is on page number 27. This is lot 30. So it's hard to see here because our GIS system is still showing this as one lot, but it's this area in here. I don't know if I can mark it like that, but clearly it's on this side of the road. This is the proposed construction of a rather large warehouse facility with 29 loading docks, 56 trailer parking spaces, and 185 standard spaces. There's been a waiver requested for the maximum width of the entrance drive to allow for tractor trailers. And there's also a waiver request for the number of trees required per parking space. Comments proceed on the second page. I have some concern about landscaping. Really, we're in the industrial park, but they still have requirements. Item number 2 shows that there was a page missing from the plan. All the landscape items provided say that the notes will be shown on sheet LL5, but it was simply missing from the packet, probably just a packaging error. The landscaping plan does show that there's breaks in the parking where theoretically there would be plantings and trees, but the landscape plan just doesn't show anything. They do require tire bumpers to prevent overhang on any sidewalk, and there's no lighting plan that's been included. Those are my primary concerns with that one, just some items that were missing. Any questions, concerns?
John, the comment is on that one about the surveyor, so the other ones may have had it, but we'll double check.
Yeah, I see it there. That's great.
Yeah.
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 And it has to be a surveyor, because I saw the one comment on one of the subdivisions said has to be sealed by an engineer or a surveyor. Well, it's definitely a surveyor. That changed in the 1980 Act, when they changed all that around.
All right, those are all the ones that we had to discuss. Does
Yeah,
anyone
and I
have
just,
any other? Oh, sorry, Mary Liz.
no, you're good. I'm sorry. I just wanted to comment real quick, page 29 with Waverly Township. The ordinance went into effect on December 20th, and they realized that they inadvertently left out their accessory structure setbacks. So this is our first amendment already to a SAPA ordinance.
Okay.
So, and they are tweaking their definition of place of worship. There's some issues there with the retreat being allowed on a religious property, and they're looking to change that. So that's our first one.
Wow.
Already.
Okay. I call for a motion to recommend approval of the reviews for January.
This is Rose. I move to accept.
I'll second.
Fine.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any no?
With the exceptions of the Labella projects.
Same here.
As noted. Okay, the motion passes.
Yeah.
Okay, moving to other business.
Okay, so we need to elect our officers again, chairman, vice chairman, and secretary.
This is Rose. If current officers are comfortable in their roles and willing to serve another term, I would move that we vote to extend their terms or renew their terms.
I was thinking the same thing, Rose, so I'll second that motion. Now we can discuss it if anybody has any questions on the matter, but I think you need more than 1 year to kind of like
Yeah.
I agree.
continuity on stuff, and I think for everybody, it's flowing really well, with the leadership.
Not to put anyone on the spot, but we're hoping that you're comfortable.
Yeah.
Speak now, forever hold your peace.
Thank you.
So maybe
Okay.
someone could read off the officers just so we know who we're voting for.
Yes, Carol is our chairman, Cindy is our vice chairman, and Jerry is our secretary.
Okay, I call for a motion to extend or keep the officers.
I'll make a motion. It's 10.
Second, Rose.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any no's?
Congratulations.
Motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you for a job well done.
No, thank you, guys. You're doing a great job, and when Cindy fills in when you're off, it works really well. So thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you, and thank you, Cindy, and thank you, Jerry, and it's great. We appreciate you all. And the members especially.
The secretary seems like it's not much of a job, but there are certain when documents get signed.
That's pretty much it.
Mary Liz?
Because we do the minutes, we do the agendas, and pretty much if we need a secretary's signature on a document, that's what Jerry would do.
Yeah, it's like an attest word to the signature
Yes.
of the chair,
Right.
Correct.
And we thank you for all you do too, Mary Liz and team. You guys are fantastic. So
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Mary Liz,
Yes,
before we adjourn, I have a curiosity question.
sure.
And Jessica, you can bring it up if you want to or not. But when we were looking at lot 30, which is in Archibald of the Valley View Industrial Park, down in the bottom corner of that picture, the bottom left-hand corner by the old dam is TMG Health,
Mhm.
which was built in 2012. It was a very beautiful state-of-the-art building in 2012. I remember touring it when they built it.
Hard to believe it's gone.
They completely demoed it. I
Oh.
realize that they're out of there, but do we know why they demoed the building?
Because people are staying home.
Oh, I know that, but why, why not shop it around to try and sell it to someone else
Good
as opposed to
question.
just
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was demoed. I didn't know that.
completely
And it's
There
gone?
was an article in the paper,
Wow.
yeah.
We actually used that picture on our annual report last year. I better get it out.
Yeah, I
the
was just,
Wow.
I was just curious.
Yeah, the justification I heard was that, the employees are just working at home. So it was once a state-of-the-art building, but no longer. But I don't know how true that is, but that's what I heard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just curious.
I heard it was too expensive to keep it up.
That's also what I heard, Harry. Too expensive for the
You
upkeep.
heard the same thing, Chad, right?
And-
Yeah.
Yes,
I heard
and I
that
guess,
from Bonnie Durkin.
I guess whatever tax advantage they had is no longer.
Right.
Right.
That's gone,
Right.
yeah.
No,
was
maybe
gonna
it was the
cost them too
KOZ.
much.
It
Yeah.
was.
Wow.
And there's no market for it.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Mary,
Yeah, I was
I have
just
another,
curious.
like Tony, I got a kicks and giggles question here too. Now that the SAP is approved, is there any movement from your discussions for these communities to get into the saldos? Because I know the Scranton saldo was passed the same as the zoning ordinance in the early 90s when I was
Right.
on
I
council.
think that's an individual. I don't think there's any regional.
I know that, but when your discussion, did anybody like say, "Oh, it's time we tackle this," or no?
No, unfortunately. And you're correct, though.
I mean, our saldo is terrible. It's so outdated. I mean, the roadway specifications and, some of the, it doesn't make 2024 sense. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right. We do need to reconvene the SAPA committee as soon as we get all these ordinances finalized. And it's just that there's been fortunately, some people have passed away. They're no longer with the municipality. So we need to get a whole new group of SAPA representatives. It might be something we could even bring up if they wanted to do maybe not regionalized, but do it as a group, and then they'd get a better price on a consultant.
Yeah.
But that, that's something we could discuss when we reconvene.
That would be very helpful, Mary Liz. Thank you.
Yeah.
Isn't Blakely redoing their saldo, Mary Liz?
Yes. Yeah, I've been talking with Chris about that.
Okay, anything else? Okay, seeing none. I call for a motion to adjourn.
No move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any noes? We are adjourned.
Happy New
Thank
Year.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Happy
Dave.
New Year.
Great job.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
See you
Have a good
guys.
day.
You guys
Happy New
enjoy
Year.
the field.
Hopefully in
Bye.
person next month. Fingers